Today News Update.
It's Wednesday, July 6th, and this is your Barbados Today Evening News Update. A warm welcome to you. The family of the late Andrew Cumberbatch wants answers about his death. Police reported this morning that the body of the 32-year-old man was found on the edge of the water at the beach behind Pirates Cove on Lower Bay Street. He was the subject of a missing persons report after he left the ward at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital on Sunday. Family members are grappling to come to terms with his passing.
I feel the hospital should be held responsible for his death. As the honest, I feel the hospital should be held responsible. Negligence on the hospital part. Negligence on the hospital part. He was supposed to be on the watch. How he get out, he had surgery. How serious surgery, not in the symptoms of that. How he get out the hospital.
The family described Cumberbatch, a mason, as a very private but a loving father to his daughter.
He loved to show off that he could have cooked. He would do different things and do it like if he's a chef. He loved to show off he could cook, and he had a big appetite. And he's a lovely little girl. That was the thing. He's a lovely little girl. He was a wonderful father.
CARICOM leaders are set to meet later this month to consider the creation of a regional carrier. Word of this from Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves as he addressed the issue of regional air travel at the just concluded CARICOM summit in Suriname. He expressed concern about the decline in regional travel since the demise of LIAT and says heads will be looking for a solution.
We are going to address the issue of a regional air carrier of some kind. It may well be the revival of LIAT in some form or the other, but we have to get a consultant in the area of aviation to put the framework together and some numbers as a matter of urgency for us to move on. And sometime, and that is taking place, I've been given a certain responsibility to coordinate certain things, to get that going. And then to get the terms of reference in order for such an exercise. And to have a further conversation at the leadership level, sometime in the period between the 20th of July and the end of July. Whether the meeting will take place in St. Vincent and the Grenadines or St. Lucia, I don't know yet, to advance this question in a very practical matter.
The Vincentian Prime Minister also briefly disclosed that CARICOM leaders are considering how to assist ex-LIAT workers who have been awaiting millions of dollars in outstanding money for 2 years now.
That discussion is inconclusive, matters in which we do not have any particular legal obligation, but there may well be a moral obligation for us to address certain things efficaciously, and we will seek to do so in a coordinated way.
Environment and National Beautification Minister Adrian Ford today called for national action as he warned that Barbados and other countries are facing a dramatic reduction in arable land. He made the plea during the launch of a new clean and green recreational site in Mount Standfast Gardens, St. James.
If we continue on this current trajectory, by the year 2070, we will have little or no arable land in the world. And I'm saying today is a day for us to recognize and be sensitized to that phenomenon. It is also an opportunity for us to say we can do better. And so I am asking all Barbadians to start composting, start to regurgitate the soil, start to put in more soil conservational plants, because desertification, deforestation is now a thing that is going to affect the existential threat of not only the plants that we are talking about, but as human beings as well. That is why I say that biodiversity must be a part of every single conversation if we are going to achieve the land and the acquiescence of the United Nations General Assembly as it relates to land-based solutions to combat the threats and the vagaries of climate change and natural disasters.
All systems are go for the finals of the Scotiabank Junior Calypso Monarch Finals, where contestants will vie for 2 titles, the Calypso or Soca, on Saturday, July 16. Today, Scotiabank handed over its $72,000 sponsorship check to the CEO of the National Cultural Foundation, Carol Roberts-Reefer. Roberts-Reefer says Barbadians can expect a keen competition, which was expanded this year to include Bashment Soca. There was, however, only one entry in the genre, and it has since been shelved. Roberts-Reefer says it's time for Barbadians to engage in some tough conversations.
It is important that we listen to what our children are saying in the language and the rhythm and the beats in which they are saying them. It is only by exposing ourselves, uncomfortable as it may be at times or not, that we know what they're thinking, we know what they're saying, and therefore we can chart a path towards true, wholesome and fulfilling development. It must be done. And we know that with commitments like that of Scotiabank, that we will do it to the betterment of our young people and to the betterment of our nation.
Regional and international news coming up after this short break.
Cure Oxygen is way more than just water. We infuse pristine water with over 1 billion tiny oxygen bubbles using our state-of-the-art process. The benefits of additional oxygen are huge, from strengthening your immune system to increasing energy levels, stamina, and sports performance. And that's not all. It also improves skin health, helps you sleep better, and reduces stress. Join the movement of people experiencing the benefits of Cure Oxygen. It's not hype, it's science.
To regional news, Jamaica's Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton reported that the island has confirmed its first case of monkeypox.
The patient is a male who recently traveled from the United Kingdom. He presented to the public health system on July 5th, having arrived on the island some 5 days earlier. The patient has been isolated, having confirmatory tests done, and his close contacts quarantined following contact tracing, which will continue if necessary. The confirmation of this first case has triggered our emergency protocols in line with international health regulations protocols. Among other things, our Emergency Operations Center has been activated. A review of all isolation facilities is to be done to look at the capacity to manage both monkeypox and COVID-19.
On the international front, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson today told lawmakers he will keep going despite a growing list of Conservative ministers and other officials resigning in protest over his handling of the case of a senior official accused of sexual misconduct. More in this report from Al Jazeera Television.
Going, surely nearly gone. On Wednesday morning, the number of government resignations was still less than 10. By the afternoon, the dam had burst and Boris Johnson's support was draining away.
Mr. Speaker, there's a very simple reason why they want me out.
At the regular session of Prime Minister's questions, the Commons chamber became a bear pit. The Prime Minister under attack from all sides.
Does the Prime Minister think there are any circumstances in which he should resign?
Today, I ask him to do the honourable thing, to put the interests of the nation before his own interests.
Mr. Speaker, isn't this the first recorded case of the sinking ships fleeing the rat?
The job of a Prime Minister in difficult circumstances when he's been handed a colossal mandate is to keep going, and that's what I'm going to do.
Immediately afterwards, Sajid Javid, the Cabinet Minister who was the first to quit on Tuesday, returned to Parliament to explain his decision to MPs. And with the Prime Minister listening, Javid didn't pull any punches.
At some point, we have to conclude that enough is enough. I believe that point is now.
The final straw was Downing Street's handling of complaints against this man, Chris Pincher. Pincher was given a government job despite previous allegations being upheld about him making unwanted sexual advances to male staffers. Boris Johnson claimed he didn't know about the past misconduct. In fact, it emerged that Johnson had been briefed in person about it. The situation is fast approaching a tipping point where surely Boris Johnson's position becomes untenable. But this is a Prime Minister possessed of almost visceral stubbornness, seemingly impervious to the criticism of even close colleagues. And he will not leave this place willingly. The question was posed directly during Johnson's appearance before the Commons Liaison Committee.
Just on a very human level, surely you must know that it's in the country's interest for you to leave now, isn't it?
I look at the pressures that people are under and the need for government to focus on their priorities. I look at the biggest war in Europe for 80 years, and I cannot for the life of me see how it is responsible just to walk away from that.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. Sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media bus terminals as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.